write the story for yourself, investigate what your truths are, and then have faith in it and let the audience that's meant to find it.
What one word could you give people starting out? And the word that immediately flashed into my head was courage.
Write every day. Write and write and write. And if you have the ability and if you have the drive, the product will take care of itself. But you've got to do it.
Right.
Do it.
It's a question of perseverance.
Don't give me anything about writer's block. When you have writer's block, write. You know, that's how you unblock. You may write junk, and I do this all the time, but when you go back and read that chapter, you go, well, this is junk. And you rewrite it. No book is written. Every book is rewritten.
Oh, I get stuck all the time.
I was like, oh Christ.
If I get stuck, I'll go and I'll take a walk.
Read is my first piece of advice, because the more you read, the better you write. That's just self-evident. Write. Keep writing, because the more you write, the better you write.
And then what you need to do is trust yourself. You know, you're not an idiot by that point. You know some stuff. You've read a lot. Just trust yourself. Write exactly what you think you want to write.
Writing is a skill just like any other.
If all else fails, just keep trying.
After all, it's your whole life.
If you're goal-driven and you just want the book on the shelf, it's just not going to be any fun.
This book is now finished, a product, not your left leg.
There's one thing that all writers have, and you have, that not a single other person in the history of Western civilization have. In the history of the world, screw Western civilization, in the history of the world has. Your voice.
Write what you know, write what you believe in.
Because it gives you freedom, I think.
That's the process of writing.
Just do it.
A show and tell story. Armpit farts, loogies on the doorknob, saturated to the limit spitwads. In 5th grade, I never passed up an opportunity to gross out the girls. But my greatest gross out was perfectly legal and even got a well done from my teacher, Mrs. Richardson. On that historic day, I brought to class my chameleon lizard in its see-through plastic cage for show and tell. Mrs. Richardson had me stand in the middle of the class. Everyone else stood in a circle around me, and I started telling how my lizard, Snakebait, could change colors, could lose its tail, and grow another one, and ate flies for breakfast. Ew, gross, moaned the girls. But I wasn't satisfied by telling those sissy, prissy girls about flies for breakfast. I was going to show them. I brought with me a mayonnaise jar in which I had incarcerated a zebra fly. A zebra fly, if you don't know, is a fly with black and white stripes, and they're big, the size of a bee, with big, bloated abdomens. I made sure that the dainty among my audience knew that I had ripped off the wings of the zebra fly to prevent its escape. That's mean. How could you do that? That's so mean. In went the fly. I held the cage over my head. Snakebait stalked. He pounced. The girls shrieked. A lizard eating a zebra fly is an awesome spectacle. Lizards don't chew. Instead, they use a series of spasmodic gulps to work the fly down its throat. The fun part is, and how 10-year-old boys do appreciate this, the fly's carcass flattens out as the lizard jaws do their thing. That's so gross, that's so gross, that's so gross! Guts pop out of the abdomen and trail behind the rest of the fly, just like spaghetti noodles following a meatball. And on this occasion, there was a bonus. White fly intestines draped out the side of the lizard's mouth, and Snakebait uses his tongue to get at it. giving everyone a nice view of masked zebra fly coated in lizard saliva. That's disgusting. Totally disgusting. The show is over, but what a triumph. What a gross out. That was very interesting, Mike, said Mrs. Richardson. Well done. So what's the point? This true story illustrates the difference between telling an audience something and showing them. How quickly I would have lost my 5th grade audience if I had merely lectured them on the feeding habits of chameleon lizards, leaving my pet and his breakfast at home. And how quickly I would have lost the attention of my freshman class if I hadn't included within my narrative all the gory details. A definition: showing, not telling. It's taking pictures with words. It's including details so precise that the reader feels he or she is right there. Natalie Goldberg, a novelist, writes, "There's an old adage in writing, don't tell, but show." What does this actually mean? It means don't tell us about anger or any of those big words like honesty, truth, hate, love, sorrow, life, justice, etc. Show us what made you angry. Don't tell the readers what to feel. Show them the situation, and that feeling would awaken in them. Here are a few examples of showing and not telling. The telling sentence is, the girls were excited. But showing it, look at the difference. Giggles and screams filled the arena. The soft curls were now damp with perspiration and the anticipation of the event. They held tight to each other in a mock effort to contain themselves. Arms flailed upward and voices echoed in varying tones. The moment was here. Here's another example. The room was vacant. That's the telling sentence. Showing, the door opened with a resounding echo that seemed to fill the house. Cobwebs, once attached, flowed freely in the air as the open door brought light to a well-worn floor. The light gave notice to the peeling paint on the walls and to the silhouettes once covered by pictures. The new air gave life to a stuffiness that entrapped the room. Faded and torn white sheets covered once new furniture, now drowning in dust. Hopefully, you will see the difference between telling and showing. Now it's your turn to write. Here's the telling sentence. They went to Los Angeles to see his parents. Develop the above sentence into a one-page show not tell. If you don't like the telling sentence, they went to Los Angeles, choose your own. The only requirements are that your writing is one page, the writing shows sensory details, it's fun, and illustrates that you understand the concept. Have fun with this.